When we started working with one veteran and I saw the transformation in them, I just thought, why are we not working with veterans more? So we started to build a community and started to offer these smaller retreats because I knew that in a small, controlled environment, we could really reach them in a much deeper way and then help them create a future that they were not aware that they could create.
You step into a room and the first couple of hours, you're hearing backgrounds and stories. And I wrote a text to my wife and I said, there's pain in this room.
In order for me to get through the things that I was getting through, I had to kill some of that off. I had to kill my happiness. I didn't care. But I didn't think I was ever going to come out of the SEAL teams alive.
Nerve cells that fire together, they wire together. They come in, they begin to struggle as we start to learn the information. And then when they move from a state of survival to a state of creation, their hearts open up and they start hugging each other. They start loving one another.
You see how beautiful it is when a veteran starts feeling safe again. And it's beautiful to see a veteran saying, yes, I get it. Yes, I have been there. Yes, I know what you're saying.
We're here together in this firefight of the old self. But we're throwing each other on our shoulders and helping everybody out of that danger. We're able to witness this transformation in some of these guys, and it just makes you so grateful for what they're able to really start seeing and uncovering.
As the week progresses, you see a shift and they start to relax and they feel safe and they feel supported. And then by the end of the retreat, they're completely somebody different and they're happy.
Welcome, everybody, and thank you for being here. My name is Joshua Whiteland, and I'm a retired U.S. Infantry Army veteran. I'm a neurochange solutions consultant. I'm a heart math practitioner, and I'm the manager of the Veterans Initiatives at the Give to Give Foundation. I want to welcome everyone to today's learning session called Soul of the Warrior, One Heart, One Mission. I want to thank you all for joining live, and I also want to thank Give to Give. And the Give to Give Foundation was started 10 years ago by students of the Dr. Joe Dispenza community. And we had one mission to bring the power and the work of transformation and change to the communities that need it the most. Today's theme, as I said, is the soul of a warrior. It's episode 2, One Heart, One Mission. And we're going to be talking about the Hoka Hey Motorcycle Challenge. But first, I wanted to define, what does Hoka Hey mean? So before we begin, Hoka Hey comes from the Lakota language and is most commonly understood today as a call that means let's go. But it is far more than the casual let's go we might say before heading to the store or starting a meeting. It's a ceremonial call. It is a call to step forward with courage, purpose, commitment, and generosity of spirit. The phrase is widely attributed to the great Lakota warrior, Crazy Horse, who is said to have called out Hoka Hey as he and his warriors prepared to ride into battle in defense of their families, their people, and their homeland. Embedded within that call is another well-known interpretation, which is, it's a good day to die. That phrase has often been misunderstood. It was never a celebration of death. Instead, it reflected a warrior's mindset, a willingness to give everything in service to something greater than oneself. It meant living with such honor, conviction, courage, and generosity that if this were your last day, you would meet it without regret because you had devoted your life to protecting your people, caring for your community, and standing for what was sacred. So when Crazy Horse called Hoka Hey, he wasn't simply saying, let's ride. He was saying, let's go with courage. Let's go with honor. Let's go with purpose. Let's go with generosity. Let's go fully committed to something greater than ourselves. The same spirit lives on in the Hoka Hey Motorcycle Challenge. The riders don't know the route. They don't know what mountains, deserts, storms, breakdowns, or challenges lie ahead. They simply answer the call. Every mile becomes a reminder that the greatest journeys in life require courage, resilience, generosity, humility, and trust. Today, we honor the Lakota origins of this phrase and the spirit in which has been carried forward. While the Hoka Hey Motorcycle Challenge is a modern event, its deeper invitation remains timeless: to move forward with courage, to live with generosity, to serve something greater than ourselves, to embrace the unknown, and to answer life's greatest adventures with one simple response: Hoka Hey. So today on this call, we have both our veteran program and we have our Tribe to Tribe program. The veterans program has worked with over 400 veterans over the past few years. Tribe to Tribe has worked with over 1,100 Indigenous all over the world for 3.5 years, with their main focus on the North American continent. These two missions at Give to Give are coming together because they both believe in the journey of service and shared transformation. Today's format, we're going to hear first from Ed Maulbeck, which will be moderated by our chairwoman, Rose Kayola. And we'll also hear from Faith Holmes with Tribe to Tribe and Toby Leroux, who is also an Indigenous member, a part of our community. We're also, at the end of the event, going to have a question and answer. You can go ahead and start asking your questions now, and we will get to them towards the end of the event. And we will also have, to close out the event, a short meditation by Dr. Joe Dispenza. So next, I would like to introduce our visionary chairwoman, Rose Kayola.
Thank you, Josh. Welcome, everyone. So excited to have you all here. Today, we're bringing together people from different walks of life who share one common mission: service, transformation, and community. And I'm first going to start our interviewing process with Ed Maulbeck. Ed Maulbeck, retired U.S. Navy SEAL, Hoka Hey Rider 1000E, so write that number down because we'll be tracking him along the ride, and he's also a Give to Give advocate. Ed Maulbeck is a retired U.S. Navy SEAL, endurance motorcyclist, and 4-time Hoka Hey Motorcycle Challenge rider. Following his transformative experiences through the Give to Give at Valkyrie 3 Veterans Program and Dr. Joe Dispenza's retreats, Ed has selected Give to Give for the foundation to support throughout his Hoka Hey ride. So welcome, Ed, and thank you again for your loving kindness and for choosing Give to be your foundation. Tell us a little bit about yourself, your journey from a Navy SEAL, and where you are and how you got here today.
Thank you, Rose. Okay, I'm not on video yet. So I was in the Navy from 1988 to 2008. And after retiring, I opened an Indian motorcycle dealership at some point, and I was married for 30 years. And I heard about the Hoka Hey through a couple other SEALs. There was actually 4 of them. They were supposed to do the 2020 Hoka Hey together, and one of them couldn't do it. And after being married for 30 years, my marriage, the wheels flew off, I'll just say, and it was bad. And I kind of needed to do this. And one of the SEALs that couldn't do it, I checked if I could slip in and do it, and they let me come in. I was the 4th rider. It was 2 months before it. And ironically, I did it. We all completed it. It was phenomenal. And the year later, in 2021, they had the Hoka Hey Rendezvous. And that's where I met Cecilia, who's down in Texas. I met her in Texas, and we got married a year later. And she's down right now getting prepped for the second Freya this year as, volunteering. So like everything's connected. This is phenomenal.
It is. Thank you. So this will be your 4th Hoka Hey challenge. What keeps bringing you back?
It's funny. we talked about the video that went at the documentary. It's kind of in that. Um, it's nice to test yourself once in a while. It's nice to not just say, "Oh, 20 years ago," or I did that, right? It's like it's nice to get out there in the unknown and push yourself and really feel alive. And it's like, it's I can't tell you how much I'm looking forward to the 3-day follow-up. And then I'm getting on my bike, I'm riding 1,000 miles to the start line the next day. And I can't wait to do it. It's just so much.
And we'll be there to send you off, so it's even more exciting.
Yeah.
How did attending our Valkyrie 3 and Joe Dispenza's week-long change your perspective on life?
I was pretty self-regulated. I was good. And I saw people at the Valkyrie that were not very self-regulated. But I started to understand that I knew bits and pieces of it, but I didn't know I didn't really know the whole thing. And then actually Josh says at the end of the training, "Congratulations, you've graduated kindergarten," right? And I had known stuff from Ryan Losey and from Ivy about the quantum field and stuff and the advanced, I heard that. So I'm like, there's something bigger here. So the transformation is what I had been hearing kind of connected towards the end of the retreat, where we really didn't go that deep into it. It was really just to get the basics down. And I would say like the last day was the transformation. And that's when I told you that I'm doing the Hoka Hey this year for Give to Give. So.
But going back to that last day, what was it that you learned about yourself?
I laughed at myself because I'm like 60 years old and I really didn't know that the three-dimensional world is the smallest sliver of the whole thing, right? We get so bogged down in the three-dimensional world and we're anchored here and we can't. And some people, it's not a good life, right? It's that, they're almost addicted to their own misery. So.
Exactly. That's exactly what you learn, right?
Yeah.
For someone who's unfamiliar with Hoka Hey, what does it represent?
So we talked about spiritually. We talked about they have this documentary that came out in 2011, and you can see some people don't get it, but then you see the people that do get it. It is spiritual for me. It is the unknown. You don't know what's happening. You don't know what challenges you're going to have, and it's almost like not getting triggered. It's like it's all puzzles, right? And that's life, and just dealing with adversity and doing it with other people and having fun with it instead of getting aggravated. So.
And that's a lot of what Dr. Joe teaches us is living in the unknown, right? And always, being surprised with what will show up. Now, every route, right, is unknown. So what has embracing uncertainty taught you about yourself?
Well, as a SEAL, we are good with the unknown, right? That's so, and
good point.
Like we're built that way. And it's funny because I'm going to see at the Hoka Hey this year. We found out about a month ago a newsletter actually came out, I think yesterday, but in the newsletter before that, it's not a 10,000-mile ride this year. It's 11,000, but there's a twist and we don't know it. But then I'm riding with another SEAL and we're good with the unknown and we're trained to deal with the unknown and we crave the unknown. It's going to be interesting to watch the other riders, how, because you show up, there's people that show up every year and they ride and they get used to it. And I wonder how the change is going to affect them. I can't wait to see what the change is.
I love that you're embracing the unknown together and you're excited about it. Like, there's an excitement in you that I'm sensing. Yeah. So it's making me excited. And I think it's also inspiring, some of our listeners like to get into more of doing this work because the unknown is so mysterious. And I can go on and on about this forever, but it's not about me, but it is fun and really trust yourself to be in that unknown space. Now, what impact do you hope our veterans and Tribe to Tribe programs will have on others?
Well, it's funding, right? So I know it costs money to do it, and then if we can do and I think that the band to increase the bandwidth of Give to do it, and just increase, like, get veterans in, get in the tribe to tribe program, get Indigenous people in, and get them trained, get as many people as we can trained. And it's going to take money, right? So let's raise money. Let's raise a lot of money.
And I guess that leads me to the next question, the last question I have here for you. Why did you choose Give to Give as your charity, official charity to raise funds for?
That's it. I mean, you're right. That's it. We need to do it. We need to do it.
We need to get to these communities as much as we can, right?
Yep.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ed. You're a wonderful human being. Knowing you for the short amount of time that I do, I really appreciate you so much, as we all do. Now, one of the beautiful things about Hoka Hey is that while each rider may ride alone, none of us truly travel alone. Transformation happens through community, and that's exactly what Tribe to Tribe represents. So now I'm going to introduce our next guest, but first would love you to see this video.
The turnout was so big, and the energy itself, just being in this room, because we gathered not only administrators and educators and, a lot of really educated people, but we gathered also healers. And there was a large number of Native women there, and we were all there to heal. So just being present for the NCS training, it was very, very powerful.
For the longest time, we were the poorest county in the nation. Right. And I believe we still are. So this is why we are pushing to make the change. We don't want to be the poorest county in the nation. We don't want the light shown on us because of what we don't have. We'd like to, if anything, if they want to shine a light on us, we want it to be because we're making the biggest change. Yeah. We're going to be the game changers. We are the seed that has been planted and that is going to grow.
And what we're learning right now is to help our people love themselves.
This is what our ancestors prayed for. This is what they did thousands of years for the next 7 generations. We're one of these generations, but there's more generations for us to come. So this is what's going on with us. Thank you.
I believe it was one of the first meditations that we did. And my heart just blew wide open. I know myself and everyone here, nobody's going to take this for granted. And this is something that's going to keep giving, just like love. And it's something that's not going to stop.
Now I'm going to introduce our next guests here, Faith Holmes and Toby Leroux. Faith is a Tribe to Tribe lead through the Give to Give Foundation. She leads Tribe to Tribe initiative, building authentic relationships with Indigenous communities through trust, service, collaboration, and shared transformation. Toby Leroux, Vice Commander, American General Forum, Chapter 5281, Airborne veteran, Indigenous community leader. Toby is a post-Vietnam era airborne veteran whose Indigenous ancestry comes from the Dene and Apache communities. He currently serves as Vice Commander of the American GI Forum Chapter 5281 in Denver, Colorado. Toby has been instrumental in introducing Change Your Mind, Create New Results program into Indigenous communities and helping build trust between the Give to Give, Dr. Joe's team, and the tribal leadership. So thank you both for making the time to be here with us today. Faith, tell us about Tribe to Tribe and how the initiative began.
Thank you, Rose, for having us and everyone else. Ed, I'm so excited. You know, in this work, one of the things that we talk a lot about is synchronicities. And the fact that my mother married a 38th generation Lakota medicine man over 37 years ago and moved to Pine Ridge, which is the deadliest place to live in the Northern Hemisphere, and that the Hoka Hey Motorcycle Challenge started there, is quite remarkable. It's such a building, an intertwining of our work, and I'm just so honored to be a part of this beautiful session. So the work that Give to Give originally started doing in Mexican jails and prisons, I saw a video at a retreat, and the day that I got certified as a neurochange solutions consultant to bring the Change Your Mind, Create New Results workshops to individuals and communities and businesses, I said I'd really like to bring this to Pine Ridge Jail, because I was so inspired by how the prisons in Mexico, people were transforming. And we were already doing work in Pine Ridge Jail, not Give to Give, but through another nonprofit organization. So it was a perfect union. And when I got certified that day, I was told, you know, I really see it happening someday. It may take a year or two, be patient. But 3 months later, Toby was at Cancun and he saw the exact same video I had been inspired by. And he walked up to the Neurochange Solutions table and said, there's an Indian reservation in South Dakota that would really benefit from this work. And it just so happened, as Spirit World would orchestrate, that we were both talking about Pine Ridge.
That's
Definitely.
and I remember that moment, that first training that you delivered. Why is relationship building so important before trying to serve a community?
Let me try that. So the connection between Dr. Joe Dispenza work and the indigenous community is similar. Some of the similarities are like the meditations, the boundaries that our minds go into the quantum field, which we do in ceremonies already. Like for thousands of years, we've done this. And to bring Dr. Joe's work and to capitalize on what we've already done is the communication between the outside world and the reservations, and saying, oh, there are similar people that what we do. So the communication and the connection is what really happening for us here. I think that answered the question.
That definitely answers the question. Go ahead, Faith.
And if I could just add, one of the incredible things that I've had the opportunity to experience is doing this work in 8 different tribal communities. And every single community I go to, inevitably, someone, and usually an elder, raises their hand at some point during the training and says, what you're teaching is not new to our people. We've always known this. You're just teaching us the science behind it. But we know this stuff already. We may have forgotten, some of us, because of historical trauma and other challenges, but you're reawakening something that our people have always already known.
Definitely. I have to say that when I met the Neurochange Solution table in Cancun, it was Sadek, one of the other trainers, and Rosie was at the table. And I had mentioned something about the reservations, and they say, well, let me get back to you. And when I got back home, I realized Sadek and Rosie had no idea what a reservation was. So they called and asked, tell us more about what a reservation is. Mostly American people from the United States know there are reservations, but they don't know what a reservation is inside. So sharing all this stuff, sharing some of the videos that you had, and sharing some of the words of connection is really a catalyst to help this community to go forward. So yes, definitely.
Tell us about yourself and your Indigenous background.
Me, I am a 68-year-old male that has learned, like Ed was saying, they learned these things while they were in the military about survival, about things. I can remember now as an adult surviving what he said he learned as a child, saying, "Oh, what is the unknown?" I didn't know I was living in the unknown at the time until I was an adult. Say, "Wow, we made it through all this stuff as children and as adults, walking the red road." As Dr. Joe Dispenza calls it, love. I'm getting chills thinking about what Dr. Joe Dispenza says about love, living love as we walk in the red road and try to live a good life. And him to bring that to us, to bring it to our attention, to say, "Oh, now I know why he's saying this, because we have lived it." And just in other words, we're doing the same thing. So the connection between Dr. Joe's work, the cultural experience that we have, is combining these things and saying, we can do it. We're not alone in this world to share this love. So for me, and that's who I am, that's where I'm at today, is to try to show love from all communities, all colors of life. So when the Faith and them talk about tribe to tribe, what 9 different country, or more than 9 countries, come together on a weekly basis and chat online, it's really something to see.
It's special, I can see.
Definitely.
Faith, what have Indigenous communities taught you?
Oh my gosh. You know, the most beautiful thing, and all of us have so much to learn from our Indigenous relatives because they know how to live in balance with Mother Earth if they go back to their original teachings. In the Lakota, they say Unchimaka. And it's all about living in coherence, which is exactly what the Change Your Mind, Create New Results and Dr. Joe Dispenza's work is teaching us, how to live in coherence between that heart and the brain. And so that oneness, that all of us are interconnected, you know, in the Lakota way, the Lakotas were the strongest people that probably were upon this lands. At least they would say that. There may be other tribal communities that might challenge that. But I mean, this was a nomadic people that followed the buffalo. And the buffalo was their source of food, tools, clothing, housing. There wasn't one aspect of the buffalo that wasn't used. So when they even buffalo, they prayed first for his soul and for his sacrifice to feed the people. And so when we look at a people such as the Lakota who know how to live in so much balance, it's such a lesson for the rest of the world to understand, because we are so out of balance today throughout the world, and our world is really suffering because of it. So how do we return to those values? How do we live in coherence in the heart and in the mind?
I mean, that's so beautiful because it's a true testament to the work that you're doing and bringing the two cultures together. It's so obvious. Your love and passion for what you do really radiates through. And thank you for sharing that.
Rose,
Toby,
may I share?
oh
Sorry,
yes,
may I
please,
share one quote? Because
please.
Sitting Bull, who was a great Lakota warrior, said, "For us, warriors are not what you think of as warriors. The warrior is not someone who fights because no one has the right to take another's life. The warrior for us, the Lakota, is the one who sacrifices himself for the good of others.
Mm.
His task is to take care of the elderly, the defenseless, those who cannot provide for themselves, and above all, the children, the future of humanity."
Wow, that's beautiful and so in sync with what Give to Give does. And
Exactly.
and where we live. Thank you for reading that. Toby, I believe there was skepticism at first, right? How did how did you trust and develop from there?
Well, at the beginning, as you saw in that clip at the beginning, it showed our training, our focus group. 2 of the women actually that were in there, attended a Dr. Joe week long. So with those two women that stood up and said, and they were well liked, well known women in the community. They stood up and said, "I've done this. I've seen it. I've experienced it." And when a person stands up and commands this lead like this, people listen. And so they listened to her. And then that's when myself and Faith were able to say, yes, what they said. And so for that, the skepticism has actually dwindled a little bit. And now they're seeing more and more. It's kind of like do as I'm doing now. When you see another native or any other person walking around with their head high, regardless of their situation at home or in the community, they're standing straight up, enjoying their life and feeling good about themselves, knowing that things are going to be better and they can see a better future. You start saying, I want to be like him. I want to be like her. How do I get that? That's when we're able to communicate. This is what we've done with Joe Dispenza. This is how these tools that we're learning are helping us continue with this stuff. So that's how the criticism and the things that happen at the very beginning has been diminished already, and we're still working on it.
Yes, we all are. So what surprised you most after you first delivered the Change Your Mind, Creating the Results program?
That people started.
How?
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Toby, please. No, please go ahead.
For me, it was watching people be conscious of what they're thinking, of not doing the same thing every single day. Now they're thinking, why am I doing this again? Why am I continuing to be sad? And they're able to now say, ours is change. So for me, the first month, change, I must have said change 1,000 times
That's
in one
one
day.
of the tools in the program, by the way,
Yes.
to our audience.
And for them to know that they can change instantly, that was the one of the nicest things to see, that they can be conscious about what they're doing and saying at that moment and living in the moment. For me, that was the big change.
And Faith, what was yours?
So, to see how natural it was, as Toby said, like, for the Lakota, there's their spiritual sacred rites. They were given 7 sacred rites by White Buffalo Pipe Calf Woman. And she taught them about the Humbleche, or the white world knows it as a vision quest, or the sun dance. And all of these, the Sweat Lodge, the Anipi, there are all of these programs that help bring people into coherence. And Dr. Joe Dispenza is teaching us how to do exactly the same thing, but through meditation. And it was so beautiful to see that weaving. And for this community, each of these communities that we're working with, not just the Lakota, but the Mohawk or the Hopi or the Northern Arapaho and Eastern Shoshone or the Onondaga or the Oneida or the Eyak in Alaska or Guatemalans, they all carry similar spiritual teachings. So each one of them are like, we know this already. We just need to plug back in, because what most people don't realize in this country, this beautiful country that we live in, the great divine experiment, is that a lot of people have suffered greatly for us to be as successful as we are today. And our native relatives, our indigenous relatives, have suffered the most. And actually, I shouldn't say so many people have suffered, but but this homeland of theirs, most people could go their whole entire life and not meet an indigenous person from this land. So us bringing awareness, us bringing these important resources and tools help a community go back into thriving instead of survival.
I love that. It's so true. When I realized that we had this opportunity, and so grateful for Ed taking the initiative and getting Give to Give involved. I saw this as an opportunity as I started to look into what Hoka Hey was. I know that we work a lot with the Indigenous community, but I haven't been as involved as and I've been so curious and really looking forward to my further participation with the community. I just thought it was such an amazing collaboration and to bring awareness, not just to myself, but, to the rest of our audience and to so many people out there, because no one really knows and no one really understands, the depth and wounds of veterans and the depth and wounds of the Indigenous community. For both of you, I have some questions here, some more questions. Hoka Hey has Indigenous roots, right? So what does Hoka Hey mean for both of you? Like specifically the Hoka Hey?
As Joshua did, I think it was Joshua that described the word Hoka Hey, how it came about, and what we're doing to let's go, let's do it. And that part, I like it. It's the way to do it. But the event, the Hoka Hey ride, in the Indigenous community, in the Native community, military personnel are regarded as high statue in the community. They're proud of their veterans. At ceremonies, they bring out the flags, and they're the first ones to march across. So they're held in high regards as part of the unit for the community. So veterans in there is really proud. As myself, as a veteran, I'm really proud of what I've done for the country. Hoka Hey, to get things done, is a great concept because, again, the familiarity of the veterans in the Native community are really in high regard. So for me to see this happening, I just learned about it a few months ago about it. And man, that's going to be grueling for these gentlemen, unknown. The most I've ever done, I would say, traveled from Denver to Laconia, New Hampshire on our bikes and back, which took 14 days, me and my cousin. So, but we rested in hotels.
You didn't rough it out and sleep on your motorcycle on the floor and maybe a sleeping bag, right?
No, not for those days. I've done it before, but again, for these gentlemen, for these new warriors to come on their iron horses to complete this for a good cause through Dr. Joe Dispenza, for a gift to give, I'm really embracing this adventure for them. So for me, the Hoka Hey now is let's go. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Faith, what excites you most
Yeah,
about with veterans?
No, go ahead.
What excites you most?
Exactly what, yeah, I mean, what Toby just said, one of the things that I've never understood, and it was during a training when I went to Wind River Reservation where we were working with Northern Arapaho and Eastern Shoshone communities. And I've never understood how every Indigenous event I've ever been to, and I've been going, my mother has been heavily involved with Native American communities since the 80s. So like going to powwows with the Seminole Reservation down in South Florida, like the first thing that would happen is the veterans would march in with the United States flag. And I never understood their honoring. Like, I'm like, our country, our government has never honored one treaty with this community. Like we have done atrocious things to our Indigenous relatives. How do our Indigenous relatives honor this country who has betrayed them and hurt them so much? And in the name of, America. And there's no greater proud people to be an American than our Indigenous. And someone shared with me a story in Wind River, and he said, the reason why we do that is because we were the first nation to defeat the United States government. And that's not something that's told in history. And so that flag, when we overcame another in battle, their flag became our flag. So us coming in with the flag at every ceremony, I've never met a more proud people than Indigenous people to be American. So I think it's very, very impressive to see how someone who has been so betrayed is so proud. Mm-hmm. And that is doing the work.
So Faith, what gives you hope for future generations?
Oh, So this work that Dr. Joe Dispenza is helping the world understand is something that is in the DNA of our Indigenous relatives. So all it is a reawakening. But because of historical trauma, a lot of that knowledge has been, it's just kind of like a mirror that has some dust on it. All it has to do is be like, taken away. And at every training that I get the honor to be a part of, I hear people talk about how I didn't realize that it was my thinking that didn't allow me to carry a child to term. Like she told me she had had 3 miscarriages. And when she came to the Change Your Mind, Create New Results workshop, she realized that because she was so, the trauma of the way that her people had been wronged flooded her body over and over and over again with stress hormones and chemicals. But when she came to the Change Your Mind, Create New Results workshop, she learned to change. She learned to stop it and change the way she thought so that she could change the way she acted, which then changed the way she felt. And when she came to her second workshop 7 months later, she brought her husband and she was pregnant.
Wow.
And so, like, this gives me hope because I see the way that it's transforming individuals and their communities.
And Toby, how do you see the future? What's your hope for the next generation or future generations?
Oh, I have great aspirations for the future of the communities in this United States. We actually made a short video, about a 3-minute video, about what the future is going to be like. Faith, maybe we can set that up somehow so folks can see this video about what we see the future of the next few generations. I have great hope that everybody's getting education as much as they can when they can. They're bringing back these tools to learn and to teach the new generations of what's going on, watching the news in the world and saying, how can I change versus this is pretty messed up. How can I change what's around me? So that's what I'm really happy about and hopeful for the next 7 generations for everybody on this continent.
Thank you. I mean, we can post those links in the chat. For the sake of time, I'm going to just go into now thanking you both for answering all of these questions. There's so many more. I mean, we could stay on for hours, but we'll have a follow-up session, I promise everyone. But for now, I want to talk just a moment about the partnership between, when Ed first came to us, how this whole vision came about. I mentioned it just a few minutes earlier, but when he told us he wanted to raise funds for Give to Give, I was touched. I was really, really, really touched. And when I learned that it was called the Hoka Hey, again, I knew that there was a perfect marriage, a wonderful synchronicity between our 2 initiatives that we love and cherish and support so much. So I thought it would be a great marriage. And then with Ed's pledge of raising, $250,000, we thought, you know what? Let's see if we're going to make this happen. We're going to work with Ed. We have Brian Losi on board also, who is another Navy SEAL. He's a 2-star retired Admiral Navy SEAL. He'll be riding with Ed. He was on the wait list, but miraculously, intentionally, he put the thought out there and a spot opened up just for him. So we're super excited to have both, and we'll be able to track both of them on the ride. But in addition to the Hoka Hey Motorcycle Challenge, we are also hosting an event in Denver at the AFU, at Dr. Joe Dispenza's AFU. So during that is going to be a really fun event. I'm going to give you just a few little snippets because I don't want to spoil the surprise. And hopefully you could buy a ticket and meet us there. It'll be a lot of fun. Dr. Joe will be a host there supporting us. We'll also have some other special guests. We'll have drumming, we'll have music, we'll have veterans there. We will have our communities, Indigenous communities there. So it's going to be a lot of fun. It'll be very interactive. And you know what? You'll come, you'll have fun, we'll have tons of food, you'll eat, you'll drink, and you'll learn. And it will be a fun learning experience. I promise you that. And it will be all tied to everything that we've talked about here, a lot of the work that we do with our programs and our communities. So here is the QR code. Feel free to donate here if you would like to buy a ticket, join us. The event will be at the AFU in Denver. I believe it's the week of July. It's July 17th to the 22nd, or July 16th to the 22nd. And we'll post all of these at the bottom. And there's plenty of ways to support. I mean, you see the work that we're doing. It means so much. I've spent a great deal of my time in my life dedicated to all of our initiatives, but these two are super special, as they all are. But today, these are more special right now. And then with that, I'm going to turn it over to Josh. He's going to do a little Q&A, and then we'll have a little meditation at the end. How does that sound?
So thank you, Rose, and thank you, Ed, and thank you, Faith and Toby. We're so grateful to have you on and to talk about our programs. And as Rose said, we have, so there's two ways to be a part of it. One is to donate, to go to our Hoka Hey fundraiser page. You can also get information to track Ed. His rider number will be 1000 and E. He will start the challenge on August 2nd. And on August 2nd, you will be able to see on a map and track their movement across the United States. As well as we have Brian Losi, and his rider number is 1305. And then obviously, if you're attending the AFU or you're in the Denver area, please consider getting a ticket and coming to hang out with us and support us at our initiative in Denver. So now we're going to open it up to questions and answers. If you've had a chance, there's a question and answer button, and I'm going to try to answer as many as I can live here. So the first question is to Toby, and what gives you hope through this collaboration?
You're muted, Toby. He's answering, but
Thank you. Again, part of my hope is knowing about the veterans going to be supported. Indigenous communities are supported. Again, I am the vice chair of my American GI Forum here in Denver. So the veterans that I work with, we do a lot for them here locally. So seeing it taken out to other veterans, it's really warms my heart to see this happen, the collaboration between them.
Thank you, Toby. And this one's for Ed. Ed, what has been the hardest part of preparing for the Hoka Hey?
My camera, so just so you know, my camera's turned off and I can't turn it on. So, but I have my mic on. It's start my video. There we go. It's actually packing. It's knowing what you need and knowing what you don't need. And then I have a limited amount of room, and there's trade-offs, right? And it's funny because I see other people that do the Hoka Hey, and it looks like a rolling garage sale going down the road because there's just so much stuff. And I think, as a SEAL for 20 years, you'll learn how to pack stuff that you need and how not to take stuff that you don't need. So I'm actually just wrapping it up. I think I have to put flip-flops in my bike and a tube of toothpaste, and I'm done. So.
Sounds good. Thank you, Ed. And this one is to Faith. Where do you see Tribe to Tribe growing?
So one of the things that we've done is we've made sure that there is an anchor in each community we move into. So, for example, there was an incredible woman by the name of Chelsea Sunday who is in training to become a neurochange solutions consultant as well from the Mohawk community, who was at a 7-day retreat and saw from the stage them talking about the Indigenous work. And so she got in touch with us. So we always make sure there's someone from the local community. Like Toby was saying earlier, there was these 2 incredible Lakota women who had already experienced it and were very respected, are very respected women in our community. So when we have someone like Susan from the Hopi community, then we're able to have a local person who's respected, who's known, and can say, you know, you guys, I've experienced this, so please come in. So I see it growing and growing and growing to tribal nations all across the Americas. We had an incredible event just on July 4th where 250 people from South America to Alaska met online to meditate together and to talk about the future hope of this country. So I think that we have something so magical that is so purposeful to share. And Ed, I'd like to take some lessons from you about packing. I'm on the road all the time and I travel with way too much. So I will need to sit down with you when we're in Denver.
Me too. Gotta get those flip-flops in. I need to figure out the backpack, right, Faith? I'm with you. Josh, I see there's a question here for you. What's next for
Yes.
the veteran programs?
So the veteran program, as we are growing and we are serving, is of course reaching more veterans. But as we're doing that, as we're growing our veteran spouse program, female veterans, male veterans, we're hosting our retreats. We're also expanding into partnerships with training local veteran organizations, and we have an event coming up very soon for that. Always on our mind is efficacy, and efficacy is important to be able to grow and scale the veterans program so that we can reach more people. So we have a lot of research on the horizon and a lot of partnerships in that's going to bring about the efficacy of the program and to help to scale it into new horizons.
Right. Very exciting.
Yes. The next one is Rose. This one's for you. Why do partnerships matter?
Why do partnerships matter? You know, I've lived by the philosophy of, you know, there have been so many changes in my life because of this work. It wasn't just one event that happened. There were so many that happened throughout a period of time. And I've been doing this work for almost 20 years, and I haven't aged a bit. But you know, what I found so important was the connection that people have and seeing firsthand transformation and experiences and seeing others' lives changing. You know, my philosophy is however many people we can reach, whether it's one person at a time, whether it's one community at a time, the more of us working together for the greater good with that same common mission, the more people we'll reach, the greater the chance for change. So that has always been why, my why. So, and that's what I'm sticking with.
Thank you, Rose. And we have a question from, go ahead.
I was going to say, Rose, the quote you had earlier, you might be riding alone, but you're not alone.
Right.
I like that.
We're never alone. Thank you. And that's partnership, right? Community is partnership.
The next question is from Barbara, and I think this will go more for tribe to tribe. So Faith, maybe if you want to answer it, how do you measure success of the Give to Give program? Is it based on the numbers that go through the program and learn Dr. Joe's program, or the number of businesses that Indigenous people start to get them out of poverty, or the number of students that reach higher education or trade programs to move them out of poverty?
Thank you, Barbara, for the question. You know, one person's life that is transformed ripples out throughout their family and their community. So I think that the seeds that both of our programs are planting right now, any of the work that Give to Give is really doing, is planting seeds that I think a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, truly is changing the world. So yes, to people getting out of a poverty mindset or changing the way that they think. We're getting ready to do a workshop with the Mohawk community, and there's so many people registered. And for that workshop, almost every single participant that's registered is a family member of someone who has already gone through the training, because they're like, their family members are going, I can't even talk to you until you've gone through this training. So I think that, yes, it's important that people are coming out of poverty. And yes, it's important that more people are going to college or trade schools. But we don't see that immediately. That is something that we will see 2 years, 3 years, 5 years from now. Right now, where I measure success is that every Monday night, people show up to collaborate, just like Toby talked about. Since November of 2022, every Monday night, Toby and myself and Sean and Susan, or one of us, have hosted this call to help accompany people through this work and continue to grow it and build it. And the fact that 3.5 years later, we still have people coming, and people who haven't come in a year show back up, or a month, or whatever it is, that people are actively changing the way that they think, act, and feel, which is changing their lives, which is changing their communities. So in the Indigenous way, success is not counted and measured necessarily. In the Indigenous way, it's the holistic approach of how a community changes. And as Toby mentioned, in the Lakota way, 7 generations, a person always plans for 7 generations ahead. Could you imagine how our society would change if we all thought 7 generations ahead?
That's beautifully put, Faith. Thank you so much. And with that, that ends. We don't have any more questions on our Q&A, and we're going to move into a meditation. But the meditation, at the end of the meditation, the event will be over. So we're going to go ahead and do our closing remarks before we start the meditation. So first, I would like to thank Rose for being here and to moderating this event for us. I want to thank Ed, Faith, Toby, Roberto for helping us, and all of the attendees, everybody who showed up. And if you're watching the replay, for watching the replay. I want to encourage everyone to support the Hoka Hey campaign, to attend the Denver fundraiser if you can, to share this replay, and to remember this initiative we're doing together is one heart, one mission, one journey. So with that, I would like to transition from information to experience, and I want to invite everyone to become, hold on. Okay, we didn't have any more questions. So I want to transition.
There's actually one more, Josh.
One more?
There's one
Okay,
more
go
in the
ahead.
chat. It says, it's from Doug, and it says, are the Give to Give tribe to tribe sessions all day, one time for an Indigenous community, or are they ongoing periodic sessions throughout the year? Would you like to answer first for the veterans, and then I can answer for tribe to tribe?
Yeah, so for the veterans, we currently host a retreat, or we go to a veteran community location, and we host a retreat and we teach the NeuroChange Solutions course, Change Your Mind, Create New Results, for 3 days. So that's one session. After that, we practice what's called 30 Days to Genius, which we meet together and we maintain community throughout that 30 days while they're implementing the new tools, implementing the new techniques, and meditating together. From that, we maintain community through the Give to Give Foundation. We host a weekly meditation, and we also meet up to connect on the work and what's going on in our lives, and also to bring more veterans to the work, to have more events like this, and veterans giving back to our program.
And for the tribe to tribe, it's the same Change Your Mind, Create New Results workshop. We do it in 2.5 days. We typically do it at a community center locally for whichever tribal community we're working with. And same thing, the 30 Days to Genius journal follow-up. And we try to do our if we had the a budget that, budget, we would do at least 2 trainings a year in each community we're serving. So we're working towards that. And we're also hoping to open up new communities. So like we've been invited to tribal communities in Alaska to work with tribal elders and youth. So we hope to bring this work to even more and more Indigenous communities throughout the Americas. But the goal at some point would be that we do at least 2 trainings in each community per year.
Thank you, Faith. And then I see the Denver AFU is July 26th through the 29th. That's correct. And the event will be July 28th for the Denver AFU special Give to Give event. Also, it says, so to Toby and Faith, the tribes could create a program that could be sold to us on how to plan for, I don't know what this one, Faith.
7 generations ahead.
7 generations ahead. Yeah.
They're in the Lakota way, and Ed might want to talk about this, his relationship with the Hoka Hey Challenge. He's learned a lot, I'm sure, about Lakota spirituality. But there are some great books out there. One is Sacred Fireplace by a Lakota medicine man who's a 37th generation Lakota medicine man that you can look up. And it will teach you a lot about that. Black Elk Speaks is another book that would teach you a lot about that 7 generation thinking. And there's also a book about Crazy Horse's life that would help. So we would be happy to share information about that as well.
Thank you, Faith. Thank you, Toby. Thank you, Ed. Thank you, Rose. Thank you, everybody who's attending. And I'm going to invite everybody to become present. And we're going to play You Inspire Me by Dr. Joe Dispenza. And once the meditation is complete, the webinar is over. So thank you for being here. Thank you for spending this hour with us. And we will see you next time.
And don't forget to grab those links, and we'll see you in Denver. Thank you, Josh.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Eyes closed. Take a breath. And relax. Your body feel your body and relax it. More. Come on. It's time. To change your energy. To the energy of a new life. Feel it. Change your energy. You change your life. The energy of a new new life. You gotta feel it. Experience it. Become it. To become the energy of a new life. Fall in love with a new life. A new energy. And to become more of it. This new energy. And feel it. In your heart. And who inspires you? What is it? That inspires you? About them. Feel it. Become it. More. Come on. Be moved by it. Come on. What inspires you? Your dreams of a new life. Come on, feel it. In your heart. Open your heart. To this new life. And breathe in the energy of a new life. And breathe it into your heart. And exhale. That's energy. In your heart. Breathe in a little more energy into your heart. And exhale. And feel that energy in your heart. Breathe in the energy of life into your heart, and exhale. And feel that in your heart. Feel it. Experience it. Become it. It's within you and all around you. Tune in to the energy of a new life. And feel it in your heart. Be moved by it. And open up. And let your heart be filled with light. The inspiration of life. In your heart. Change your energy. Change your life. Within you and all around you. Open up. It's the energy of a new life. The inspiration for life. And when you're ready, bring your awareness back to a new body. To a new environment, to a whole new time. When you're ready, you can open your eyes. Inspired by life. And remember, this feeling